Well, good evening, everybody. It's W1RCP, and this is the FCC exam study. We're calling it Trivia Live. And so I hope that you guys are ready. I am away from home today, so I don't have all the wonderful little intro music. Some of the pictures are off, so we'll go with what we got. Hey, I'm sitting sort of in the dark because my child is in the other room, not feeling so hot tonight. So I figured I'll keep the lights off. And you'll see that in just a moment. So we will transition into how the players are going to log in. And if you've been here before, you probably already know. You go to hamtesttrivia.com/play is the .php. Play.php is the easiest way to go. But you can go to hamtesttrivia.com. Up at the top right-hand corner, you'll see the play button, and you'll push that. And then you'll be redirected to the next screen, which shows you how to participate in our interactive trivia. You'll enter your name or your call sign with no spaces. We've discovered that spaces cause issues with the scoring. And then you'll enter the code, which will be W1RCP. It could be all capitals or lowercase, dash, and then the numbers, which will be the code that'll align everybody together. All right, so let's go ahead and go. And I've already got my super secret password ready. So as the facilitator, we're going to go ahead and go. Now, tonight I promised that we would do just general and the 2020 to 2024 extra. So tonight's code is W1RCP. Do not hit go yet because it's not quite primed and ready for prime time. But we're going to do the general, and it's 86536. These codes are unique, and they pull a pseudo-random question pool for our exam trivia. So tonight, I am not going to read the questions as much. You guys, I received some feedback. You guys will be done with this before I get finished reading about 3 of them. So let's see who we have here tonight. If you want to go ahead and put your name in the chat and what you want to be called, I'll gladly get you guys going. So let's go to this screen right here. And now you can see W1RCP-86536. That should help us to get all synced up there. Now my screen refreshes every 30 seconds to see who's already in to get the party started. So until the party gets started, I guess I'll read some of the questions. So the general exam is quite the exam. On which of the following frequencies are general class licenses prohibited from operating as control operator? So we're looking at general class. And in the general class, there's only one spot that I can see. But remember, tonight, Rob Bossy is Christmas treeing. So a Christmas tree, if you did good in high school, you probably didn't do this, but if you didn't study for tests, you'd Christmas tree and take your chances at a passing grade. So you go A, B, C, D, C, B, A, B, C, D, C, B, A. That's what I'm going to do. And you guys will put the right answers. So generally, who should respond to a station in the contiguous 48 states calling CQDX? Well, I'm going to mark that. You guys mark the answers that you want to mark, and hopefully you want to mark the right ones. What is a characteristics of HF scatter? I'm going to mark C. I got to remember where I'm at here. Okay, why should the ALC system be inactive when transmitting AFSK data signals? I have to mark D, but you guys can see the stuff right in front of us. And of course, I encourage you to participate in the chat. if you want to throw some of your answers out, but we're going to see who can take all the beans tonight. I know that it can be difficult. If you're watching on a mobile device, it is difficult to switch between the phone, YouTube app, and a browser. And some of y'all, if you don't have that YouTube Premium, I don't even think you can do that. So maybe that would explain why some folks are not in it, and you're just here along for the ride, and that's okay too. So if you're just here along for the ride, let me know in the chat. The new features have rolled out today, and some of the new features are that I have supers and stickers now, and I have memberships for W1RCP, and that is just to help defray some of the costs of the hobbies inside the hobby. And hopefully I can share that with you guys as we go along. So anybody want to send me an X6200 to try out? Alrighty, so why is the primary winding wire of a voltage step-up transformer usually larger than that of the secondary? I think I'm back to selecting C, but what are you guys going to select? Guys and gals, what you got? What is the appropriate forward threshold voltage of a germanium diode? Well, marking B on that one. So we got a Christmas tree. If you saw this on a Scantron, how many of you guys remember Scantrons? If you saw this on a Scantron, it would look like the edge of a Christmas tree, and that's why it's called Christmas treeing. Last week it was always pick C. What term specifies a filter's attenuation inside its passband? Now, this is one of those funny ones. The attenuation inside the passband. As an amateur radio operator, or a ham, or a nerd, ultimate rejection. I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. Ultimate rejection is something that I was used to. All right, so who do we have out there? Who's viewing the live stream tonight? Go ahead and send a chat so I can say hey to you. What action results from a failure to exchange information due to excessive transmission attempts when using an ARQ mode? Thank God I only have to select B. So this is digital stuff here. So you got to, when you're studying Section 8, subsection C, those questions are about digital information on this exam. And what is the nominal characteristic impedance of window line transmission line? I will say that regular coax is usually 75 ohm, or 50 ohms. There are some tricks that you can use 75 ohms. I was reading about those last night. I actually stayed up way too late, and I read every single question on every single test with the exception of the latest extra exam. Okay, in question 10, we're at, this is section 0. They don't call it 10 because they stuck with the format of a letter for the test that you're taking, the section number, subsection letter, and then the question number is 2 digits. That's the secret behind all this. Okay, which of the following is true of an emergency generator installation? And D. Okay. Alrighty, so I don't think anybody was able to participate live in that one. And I got a 40. Hey, that's not bad for, it takes, I think, a 74. A 74 is a passing grade on any of the amateur license exams. So I'm going to scroll through. You can see the, you know, actually I'm going to comment on this. I called for DX stations doing Parks on the Air the other day. That video has either posted or will post. I don't remember which one it was. It might actually post Friday. Today's Thursday, so it'll probably post tomorrow. But there was a spot where I called for DX, and some Canadian guys came in, and they said, well, I hope that's DX for you. Well, according to the FCC licensing exam from the NCVEC. So many letters. It's like alphabet soup up in here. But you're outside of lower 48. You're considered DX. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Those two I got correct. I did some math. And if you were to just guess on an amateur radio test with 35 questions, you've got about a 1 in, I think it was septillion chance of actually passing that exam. So we're going to go do another general. Yes, we're moving pretty quick tonight because I'm not reading every question, every answer. And I'll let you guys do that and then participate in the chat. So we're going to go ahead and paste the new code into the chat. You can copy and paste that into your window, which should look like this. So you'll put your call sign right here with no spaces. You can put extra numbers if you wanted to, an identifier, your technical code, and then you go W1RCP, and all I have to do is hit Control Paste. So you can put it just like that and get the trivia set. Okay, so we're going to hit General. And now you can hit go and go ahead and get ready. And I'm going to go and start reading the questions. So again, is there anybody out there who is studying for an upgrade? Now, if you rolled up in here and you're a technician, go ahead and participate anyways, because some of these questions are very similar to what you would see on a technician exam. If you're a technician and you want to be a general, then this is for you. Until an upgrade to general class is shown in the FCC database, AA4XO, also known as Georgia Parks and Propagation. By the way, dude, I love the new channel name. It is a great play on words. Guys that are either seeing this live or you're seeing this after the fact, Georgia Parks and Propagation, he's an extra, and so he's just here for fun. But go check out his channel. Go ahead and like and subscribe and like some of his stuff. He's showing some Georgia parks. I think I saw one today. He was at a Florida park, 1619 or 1916. US 1916, I think, was the park he was at. So we're Christmas treeing. So I'm going to go with A. Okay, so we're going to continue on down. And I think, Chris, you might just be here along for the ride tonight too, bud. So you can just lend to the conversation. What should you do if a CW station sends QRS ? Now, there was a big debate on some of the... There was a big debate on this one on my clickbait video. Somebody called out that said that this was incorrect. But if you look, that question mark is inside the quotation marks. That's just the way the English language works. So this is asking QRS, which means send slow. Actually, you know what? It actually, you know what? I'm taking that back. I'm taking it back. QRS with I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone. If you hear QRS and you're on the receiving end of it, it mostly means I have not heard it used in the other way. If somebody says QRS PSE, they're asking you to send slower. So send slower. Oh, but I'm supposed to be Christmas tree in this thing. My bad. How can high geomagnetic activity benefit the radio communications? Can it benefit? I don't know. We're going to find out. Chris, actually, fun stuff on these exams. I'm working on a video right now that I'm going to post it early. It's just extra credit. Hopefully I'll get it done by Tuesday and be able to post it Tuesday afternoon. But I read all 2,000 some odd questions of the exam last night, all the exams except for the newest one, the newest extra, and found some things that would either be considered Easter eggs, posting fun at something or poking fun at something, and I made it down a rabbit hole. It's pretty interesting stuff. So what effect can strong signals from nearby transmitters have on an antenna analyzer? That I never thought about that. That is true. Okay, how does an inductor react to AC? Well, I got to mark C, but you guys mark your answers. I see A4XO. You are participating. Super duper, buddy. What happens when an inductor is operated above its self-resonant frequency? I think I'm going back to B. I like that they say catastrophic failure is likely. No, I think that's if you try to run too much power through it. What portion of the AC cycle is converted to DC by a half-wave rectifier? If I could draw pictures on here, I would select A. But check out half-wave and full-wave rectifiers. Half-wave, they're easier to implement. They take less parts, but they're not as efficient. What process combines two signals into a non-linear circuit to produce unwanted, spurious outputs? Unwanted, spurious outputs. I'm back on B. I'll tell you B is not the right answer. It's just you and me, Chris, I believe. There's a third human here, but I don't know who it is yet. Alrighty, what is the effect of transmission line loss on SWR measured at the input to the line? I think, am I going back up? A, B, I'm going to C now. So shoot some of your answers into the text if you want to. You do have to tell me what question you're on, preferably with the section. All right, last one for this one. Chris, let me know when you get that thing submitted and we'll check it out. Tonight you're going to win. What should be done if evaluation shows that a neighbor might experience more than the allowable limit of RF exposure from the main lobe of a directional antenna? You need to move. that's E. You need to move. But the that's a big one, guys. As amateur radio operators, a few years ago, we have to do station evaluations. It is absolutely important. Wow, I got one right. It is absolutely important. You beat me. You got a 20, bro. You beat me. There's quite a few about station evaluations on that test. Now, do you have to submit that information? No, you just have to keep it on record. All right, so Chris, for you and me, we're going to stick to general. I'm going to go to general until about 9:05, and then we'll go to extra. We'll do the 2024, the one that expires on July 1st. You beat me, dude. I can't believe you beat me. So tonight we're really not learning as much as we are. Let me scroll up so you can see this on the screen. We're not learning because I'm not teaching. We're just rolling through it. All right, so third-party messages. This one's always been confusing to me. I'm going to start with D and work my way up. When may third-party transmissions or third-party messages be transmitted via remote control? I think I know what the answer is to that one. The general's not so bad. I was looking at the extra last night, looking for Easter eggs and rabbit holes. Man, that extra, it's different than when I took it last. Which of the following is an advantage of using single sideband as compared to other analog voice modes on HF amateur bands? Yeah, right. C is definitely not the right answer. I thought about putting this one into Tuesday's Easter egg video because I have to select this answer. It's a thunderstorm that affects radio propagation. This is not the right answer, by the way. A geomagnetic storm has been into amateur radio news a lot here lately. And as of recording, that famous sunspot has moved its way back into the Earth's views. So we're going to see some more interesting stuff. So my little QRPP rig that only runs a half watt, I guess I'm not playing with that anytime soon. It's too noisy. I need to look for when I think it's the A index. See, that's what I need to study. I don't study the sun. But the A index, I think, is the solar wind noise. And solar wind on 40 meters makes it noisy. What is the purpose of an antenna tuner? I think I'm going with A. And then I get to start my way back down. So you guys get the right answers, please. What is the output peak envelope power of 500 volts peak to peak? Now, test taking strategy. You got to read the whole question. You got to read all the answers. But output peak envelope power of 500 volts peak to peak across a 50 ohm load. So the formula is power P equals I times V. But we don't have current. So it's going to be P equals V squared, P equals V squared over R. That's your formula. But this is peak to peak. So 500 volts peak to peak is not quite. That's only 250 volts peak. And then I think you have to do the root mean square. No, you don't, because it's peak envelope power. Okay, so at any rate, it doesn't matter. I have to mark B. If I had my guess, 250 squared, it's a big number. It's going to be a big number. I think 100 watts is 200 volts into a 50 ohm load. What is the typical upper frequency limit for low SWR operation of 50 ohm BNC connectors? It's higher than you think. So am I going up or down? I'm going down. I might have just got one right. Yes. Well, Chris, we were talking earlier today, and I'm considering going to the Atlanta Ham Fest to talk about Georgia Parks on the Air with Claude. I told him when I hunted him today on 40 meter SSB, my remote was actually working and tuned, and told him I wasn't going to make it, but then my wife was like, hey, you should probably go. So I might go up there early in the morning. I love to sleep in though. God, that's gonna be tough. I love to stay up late and sleep in and take naps. For which of the following modes is a Ooh. Well, dude, I might have to meet you at your place. Okay, so we'll talk about that in private. All right, for which of the following modes is the Class C power stage appropriate for amplifying a modulated signal? I think I read that the Class C is not good for FM. I'll just throw that out there, but I have to go with D. D is also not going to be the right answer, just saying. A Class C does not cross the zero threshold. I think that's how it does something interesting. It's very interesting. I'm wrong, but it's interesting. How does a forward error correction allow the receiver to correct data errors? This is back with digital stuff, I believe. So I'm going to go boop. Forward error correction. That's some deep mess right there now. Okay, and how does antenna height affect the azimuthal radiation pattern of a horizontal dipole HF antenna at elevation angles higher than about 45 degrees? I need to see a picture of this one because I still don't understand it. Thank God I only have to hit boop, which is not the correct answer. B is definitely not the right answer. You made a 50. I'm not going to make a 50 guessing. I'm going to make, I think, a 20. Okay, what precautions should be taken if you install an indoor transmitting antenna? I'm going to mark A. We need to be close to our face as possible. But dang, even Christmas tree, and I got a 30. I mean, that's not bad. All right, so it's 9 o'clock. I started 5 minutes late tonight. That's just my bad. There's some stuff going on. The reason that we're actually here in Dothan, Alabama is because of stuff going on. I know you had to work for it. All I had to do was read the question. All right, so this is going to be extra now. So this is really going to make us both look stupid because I haven't studied this. We're doing the one that's about to expire. Okay, so there's your code, W1RCP-47839. And for those of you that are just tuning in, I do have something new on my channel. I have super chats and I have memberships for early release. If you're interested in early release videos or you don't want me to monetize the channel, there is that. So if you do get commercials, it's not my fault. That's all YouTube right there. But I'm not begging for money. I know that some of y'all give to other people. I know that, let's see, A4XO gives to Ham Radio Adventure Guy a little bit, maybe. I know I do. Ham Radio Adventure Guy, Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, that's where we all know each other from. We're all friends. We hang out. All right, what limitations may the FCC place on an amateur station if its signal causes interference to domestic broadcast reception, assuming that the receivers involved are of good engineering design? I'm going to start with D and work my way up on this Christmas tree. And you guys can mark the correct answers. We're going for correct answers from those who are participating. I do see that there are 4 people watching currently. If you are able to comment, if you're not busy taking the test, let us know who you are so we can say hey and give you a shout out. What do the letters in the satellite's mode designator specify? I have to go with C, but I will tell you it's not the right answer. It's not about the polarization. The polarization is affected by how that thing's flipping through the sky as it falls indefinitely. I'll say that the Earth is not flat. Which of the following descriptors indicates the greatest solar flare intensity? So unfortunately, I'm working my way up. Hint, hint, work our way down. You should know if you've listened to Tamitha Scove, in her explanation, she has used this letter, also known as the letter for impedance, quite a bit. Okay, they're not related, but there you go. Which of the following signals might a receiver noise blanker be able to remove from desired signals? It works. It absolutely works. Boop. But you got to know what it is. Okay, we're halfway through almost. How many watts are consumed in a circuit having a power factor of 0.71 if the apparent power is 500 volt amps? So watts consumed, a power factor is a ratio of the power that goes in versus the power that comes out. That's all I can say. I have to go with B on this one because I'm coming back down on my Christmas tree. Now, when I did microcontrollers, Tri-State Logic is pretty neat. You can look this one up if you're into microcontrollers and doing some programming. It's called Charlie Plexing, and it uses Tri-State Logic. So, logic devices. Wait, I said I wasn't going to read the answers. I just have to pick one. So I'm on C. C is not the right answer. Okay, I'm trying to be quick here. What is the function of the pass transistor? Am I reading that right? In a linear voltage regulator circuit. So the pass transistor is what is switched on and off. I already forgot. Am I going to D on this one or? Yeah, going to D. So that might actually be right. Looking at schematics of linear, oh, that says linear voltage regulator circuits. I still think it's the same. I was thinking of a switching. Okay, what determines the peak envelope power to average power rating, power ratio of a single sideband phone signal? I have to go back to C. And I know what the answer is, but I can't tell you. Sorry. Okay. Bravo! What is receiving directivity factor? You know what? I don't know. Receiving directivity factor probably has to do with the lobes on an antenna. I've not studied much on the extra to be able to speak intelligently. I also know that it's getting dark in Alabama, so it must be dark in Georgia now. Over what range of frequencies are the FCC human body RF exposure limits most restrictive? Most restrictive. I have to mark A on this, but it's not right. Think of microwaves. Which I'm going to make a video. Can't tell you what it is, but it's going to have something to do with that. Boop. All right, what'd y'all make? I made another 30 with a Christmas tree. If I could figure out that pattern. There should not be a pattern in multiple guess, but I did get that one wrong. Class X. Wide bandwidth. I knew I got that one right. Logic devices with 0, 1 and high impedance output states. Again, Charlie plexing. I think it's named after the guy who discovered it. Ugh, 20%. Aren't you glad, though, that we don't have to do this again? But, and I'm going to call us both out. Have we become button pushers, Chris? I think we have. I think we have. Okay, so start new game. We're doing the 2020 to 2024 exam. I'm going to copy this and put it in the chat for those of you that are participating. Boop, 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 boop. Now, I know the noises are not, yeah, button away. Hey, at least we're not using Vox, right? And we just fall asleep and start snoring. Yeah, that's another sneak peek to the video that'll come out on Tuesday if you're watching this before Tuesday, which I believe is June 4th, 2024. So let's scroll up so you can see this wonderful code of W1RCP-23771. Okay, so this is something that I've always wondered about. There are two more bands in the VLF range, very low frequency, 2200 meter and 630 meter band. The reason I'm not on them, one, I don't have enough real estate for that much wire. If you did a half-wave dipole at 2200 meters, that would be 1100 meters. That's 3,000 and some change feet. Holy cow. Okay, so I'm going to start with B's on this one. So it'll be B. I'll go BA and then go back to B, and that'll be the peak of the tree. Okay, so that might actually be the right answer. The Utilities Technology Council, there are PLC systems that is programmable logic controllers, if I'm not mistaken, and apparently operating at these frequencies, which you can only go like 1 watt, I think, max on them, but I think they could trip the PLC or mess with the computer inside of the PLCs. All right, how many horizontal lines make up fast scan? Horizontal lines. We have seen this question. I swear we've seen it every week, so you should know the answer to that one. Eddie, if you're out there, KO4, NLL, W1, RCP, if you're out there studying, he says, code didn't work for me. Okay, 23771. Put the dash in there if you didn't get the dash. It should work. Go back and try again, see if it works. I'll go over here. 23771. Now you're ready to play. Yeah, so it should work. I'll give you a second and see what happens. This is what it looks like from y'all's end, by the way. Okay, I've scrolled up and down. Now I'm going to get seasick. Okay, I'll keep going. You can tell me how many you got right on this last one. All right, how many horizontal lines? 525. What might be indicated by a sudden rise in audio background noise across a large portion of the HF? Let's see. I started on BA, so I get to go back to B. I also believe that's very close to the right answer. How can intermodulation interference between two repeaters occur? It has nothing to do with airplanes. I'll just tell you that. C is not the right answer. Don't pick C. How is the Q of an RLC series resonant circuit calculated? Crap, I just read this the other day, so I should know. I'm going to mark D. It's not the right answer. The Q really affects the quality of that resonant circuit. Q also affects what happens when you have bandpass filters. That's been a project that I've been tinkering with, and I have so much video that I can't even edit it down. What is used to control the attenuation of RF signals by a PIN diode? A PIN diode is very interesting, and I don't even know what it does because I've never owned one to play with it. Because that's how I learn. What can be done to prevent unwanted oscillations in an RF power amplifier? I have just selected an incorrect answer, just so you know. Neutralization is, I think that's also known as negative feedback. I learned that last night. All right, why should phase shift keying of a PSK signal be done at the zero crossing of the RF signal? So phase shifting. Phase. You don't want to shift it while it's got voltage, right? That could cause some skewing of the signal, maybe even some noise. What do I have to select? I have to select A. That one could be A or D. I'm not quite sure. But it doesn't matter. I'm Christmas treeing. Wait. Yeah, I'm going up. Okay. And how can linearly polarized Yagi antennas be used to produce circular polarization? Well, I think you should hook it up to a KitchenAid, but I'm back to B. Circular polarization. I would think that something out of phase, most likely. You're not going to be able to rotate. If they're stacked like this, I don't think you have enough room to rotate it. So I would think that having because you can use coax and use the velocity factor and the wavelength of that to make 180 degrees out of phase. It's very interesting stuff what you can do. Some days I wonder, are we advancing the technology? What toxic material may be present in some electronic components, such as high voltage capacitors and transformers? I think I have to mark C on this. So just for fun, let's read these. Polychlorinated biphenyls. Biphenyls. So that has chlorine. That sounds bad. Polyethylene does not sound bad. Polytetrafluoroethylene, that has ethylene and it has fluoro, which is probably fluoride or fluorine. And polymorphic silicone. So I think you could narrow this down to B or C. So Christmas tree, and you're going to get a 30, a 20, or a 30 about regularly. Let's go check that last answer. Polychlorinated biphenyls. That's what I was thinking. So maybe polytetrafluoroethylene, it may be more stable to not let the ethylene, but chloride gas is bad. It'll make you sick and possibly kill you. All right, so it's 9:16. We've lost some followers. That's okay. We're still on the 2020 to 2024 extra. Let's see if it works this time. You might have tried to go in too early, Chris, and then that messes things up. That's probably a problem on my part. My programming may not take that into account, but that's okay. I probably didn't explain. Look at me sitting in the dark right here. There's only one light, and it's over a kitchen sink over there. I'm also wearing a shirt, w1rcp.com, ham radio gear. I have a small store on w1rcp.com, a very small store. Whoa. Thank you, Alexa. I guess my kid must have fallen asleep, so it doesn't matter. All right, so let's go ahead and get this party started. There's the code, guys. All right, so we got a little bit of silence here. A little bit of silence is not too bad. Now that the light's on, it's too bright for me to see. All right, who may be the control operator of an auxiliary station? Is it any licensed amateur operator? Where am I going to start? Chris, give me a starting point. Let's see how good I do. Or should I just try to take this one for real? I think I'll go for real. Okay, so here's me taking 10 questions of a 50-question test. The control operator of an auxiliary station. So it's going to be between any licensed amateur radio operator. I'm going to say C on this one. I think that there are some limitations to the advanced license. If you're an advanced licensed operator, you can comment if you're watching this after the fact. So how many horizontal lines make up FastScan NTSC television? Now I've learned this. 30 is not a horizontal line. You got to read the question. 30 is the frame rate. 60 is not a frame rate for NTSC. That is something a little bit different. And 1080 is actually the resolution of TVs. This one is 525. So everybody should make what I make if you guess what I guess. Meteor scatter. I read that 6 meters is good for meteor scatter. Meteor scatter. I'm going to say 10 meters through 2 meters, because that includes 6 meters. What does the MDS of a receiver represent? MDS, I don't know. Could that be the display sensitivity or the minimum discernible signal? Because there is a minimum discernible signal published for most modern radios. But I thought that was called sensitivity, so I'm gonna say display sensitivity on that one. How is the Q of an RLC parallel resonance circuit calculated? It's parallel, so RLC parallel. That's resistor, inductor, capacitor. And you know what? I don't know the formula for this one. I do not know the formula. So I don't think it's going to be either. The resistor should not matter on the Q. So I'm going to go with inductance multiplied by the reactance of the capacitance. That's my final answer. We're looking at 9:22 on this stream, which means we've been going almost an hour. What is one reason for using ferrite cores rather than powdered iron in an inductor? Now, I do know the answer to this. It takes less turns with ferrite. Powdered iron, I think, doesn't saturate as easily. I think that's the differentiation between the two. So let's see. Fewer turns. I think that's the right answer for that one. Again, I just freshly read over all 2,000 some odd questions, 15 to 2,000 last night. I skimmed over it. What is one advantage of a pi matching network over an L matching network consisting of a single inductor and single capacitor? The pi matching. So pi, single inductor, single capacitor. I think the Q can be controlled over anything, so I'm going to go with D on that one. I believe it's a balanced input and output. Chris, have you finished this one yet? Are you in? Yep, you're there, so you're taking it. Okay. Oh, no. What is the modulation index of an FM phone signal? I guess I better hurry up then, shouldn't I? So I do not know deviation. 3,000 hertz. So that'd be 6,000 hertz on either side of the carrier frequency when the modulating frequency is 1,000 hertz. I'm going to say 0.3. What is the front to back ratio of the radiation pattern shown here? So you got the front is 0 and the back is -40. That's a pretty good deviation there. Front to back ratio is the ratio. I don't remember how to do this. So I'm going to have to guess 28 decibels. It's just a guess because I don't know. I have forgotten how to figure out front to back ratio, but that's a high gain antenna right there, baby. Okay, last one. Which insulating material commonly used as a thermal conductor for some types of electricity is extremely toxic if broken or crushed and particles are accidentally inhaled? Really? Well, I can tell you that we don't have uranium, but I think mica will puncture your lung. I am an idiot. We tied, Chris. We tied, buddy. Advance can. Correct. Oh, I'm stupid. I should have went with my first one. I knew I wouldn't know that one. Unbelievable. Yeah, I know, right? Like if they tested us every once in a while, that would be bad. 3, I guessed. But that guess was right. I don't even know how. Beryllium oxide. Interesting. Well, Chris, let's do one more, and that'll be the extra. Not that one, this one. All right, I'm going to copy this. Scroll. There's your code. I'm going to put that into the chat. Well, Chris, it's just been you and me, buddy. My family hadn't been able to play, and so I thought that there'd be a bigger following tonight. I'm not disappointed. It's not bad. You must not have anything better to do. Okay, so here we go, buddy. I'm going to wait until you get in, then I'll start reading the questions. I think the FCC probably doesn't even give a hoot about what we know and don't know. So everybody does have their specialty, and this exam covers almost everything. Like it's got tubes, it's got Morse code, it's got different radio technology. It's insane. Okay, what must administering VEs do after the administration of a successful examination for an amateur operator license? Must collect and submit the coordinating VEC for grading. So there are different VECs. You got that ARRL, which I think is W5YI. I think is the same thing. Then you have the Laurel. My club uses Laurel because we don't charge for testing, whereas the ARRL and W5YI, if they are different entities, it's $14 or $15. Plus the $35 fee you have to pay the FCC now to even get your license. So you can pass it, and if you don't pay, you don't play. Yeah. Heck yeah, same. I had to pay $45 over the course of mine. I took 3 different tests, and they were all through the ARRL or W5YI. What is the direction of ascending pass for an amateur radio satellite? Did you know that they all go in the same? I think they all go in the same direction, but it's, I don't know. One's ascending, one's descending. But I don't do satellite stuff anymore, so I don't remember. But I'm going to say, you see me going around the earth trying to figure it out. I'm going to say west to east. It's probably not right. At what time of year is sporadic E propagation most likely to occur? Sporadic E. I'm going to say around the solstices, especially the summer solstice, because the sun in North America, this is the test for the United States and North America. The summer solstice is where the sun is up there. It's up there. Okay, which of the following parameters does a spectrum analyzer display on the vertical and horizontal axis? Spectrum analyzer is analyzing frequency, and amplitude. That's what I'm going for. If it's time, I'm pretty sure it's not time. Time would be an oscilloscope. Okay, when using rectangular coordinates to graph the impedance of a circuit, what did the axis represent? You have two axes, or axi. One of them is going to be the reactive component, and one's going to be the resistive component. Maybe? Going would be impedance. I got to move on, y'all, because it's time. Oh, this is sad, Chris. We're sad hams in a different way. We're the nicest guys out there, but this is sad. What term indicates the frequency at which the grounded base current gain of a transistor has decreased to 0.7 of the gain attainable at 1 kilohertz? Okay. This is a cutoff frequency. 0.7, I think, is like the bottom. And it's either alpha or beta. I haven't messed with transistors in years. But I just did this one the other day too, so you'd think that I would remember. I should be getting better at this, not worse. Why is de-emphasis commonly used in FM communication receivers? De-emphasis. I'm going to say to remove third order distortion products. So de-emphasis, I think, is where it's drawing something back. So you don't want distortion. Impulse noise reception. Impulse is something that happens quick, like a pop. It's not that. I don't think it has anything to do with efficiency, but I may be wrong, so I'm going with that one. All right, we're almost done with this live stream. Dude, an hour goes really fast, y'all. What is the deviation ratio of an FM phone signal? Is it Thursday? Or is it Wednesday? I don't even know anymore. What is the deviation ratio of an FM signal having a maximum frequency swing plus or minus 7 points? So we have 15 kilohertz. The maximum modulation frequency is 3.5 kilohertz. So that's 7. So 15 minus 7 is 8.5. And the last one was a big number. So I'm going to go with 47. No, I'm going with 2. I'm going with 2. Just because. The other one was more than 1, but not what I thought. It was 10 times what I thought. How does performance of a horizontally polarized antenna mounted on the side of a hill compare with the same antenna mounted on flat ground? The horizontal polarized antenna performance. So if it's on the side of a hill, there's going to be a lot of space between the antenna and the ground. So I think that the angle is going to decrease in the downhill, because as you get closer to ground, the angle changes up because it's reflected from ground. I think it's going to go decrease in the downhill direction. Okay. And now we're at the end. When evaluating a site with multiple transmitters operating at the same time, the operators and licensees of which transmitters are responsible for mitigating overexposure situations? This goes back to MPE. Yeah, Thursday. Ouch. 30%. Sorry, Chris, man. We're just not good at this. Okay, so we're talking about multiple transmitters, and there's obviously multiple operators and licensees here. So I don't believe it's going to be. It's got to be everybody. So we got to find an answer. Everybody is responsible. I don't know. Each transmitted 5% or more of its MP limit is exceeded. How do you even know that? Each with a duty cycle greater than 50%. It's going to be C or D on this one. You see that I marked C first, but I'm going to hit D and hit. So disappointing. Guys, we're ending on this note. Chris, we're ending on this note. Oh, man. And you know I could have made a 50 if I had read the answers. The coordinating VEC doesn't grade it. We grade it. So I should have known that one. Okay, I won't tell either, but unfortunately, these are all viewable. What is the direction? North to south to north is an ascending pass. I need to learn more about. My friend Billy, Whiskey One, what the heck? He's into antennas. He may actually know, especially since he's a doctor. So that one's correct. That one's correct. The x-axis is the what? What did I put? I had it backwards. So X is resistance. So as long as you're up here, you're pretty good. 50 ohms. Boop. I had a 50-50 chance there. Didn't get it. De-emphasis is what? So whatever I said there about 5 minutes ago was completely incorrect. Look at that. So if I'd study some more, I could probably pass this again. I was right on that one. I actually remember that one. I think that was on the test when I took my general 11 years ago. And each transmit, see, I wouldn't have thought that would it. Like, I mean, I still had a 50-50 chance. So 74. Well, we have made it to the end of this live broadcast. Ham test trivia, I can go get the stats. This is just if you guys are viewing this video, all of these, with the exception of this one and I think this one, have been in a live stream of sorts. So you can see we did a lot of technician, and next week we'll go back to technician. And these were tonight's extra, 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 extra. We're missing something. Did we only do 4 extras? We did poorly. We did poorly. It's so bad. So after I hit close, we can go, you know, if you want to do this with your club, I do, on my website, I do have this, I guess my prize tonight is I get to go sleep somewhere. You can review these questions in your club. And at w1rcp.com, I do have some gear and stuff. I actually just got another order through the Ham Radio Adventure Guys website. It's going to be some kits, and it's going to be a DIY kit with no 3D printed parts. And so I'll send that out to them. I've got, I think I have 3 in stock, and they're about to be gone. So those are about to be sold out. Alrighty, so we'll go back. If you want games, digital downloads, you can get a 1-year yearly license to hamtesttrivia.com. It's $10, and you can participate and do this with your club. And I also have some bingo practice if you want to learn Morse code. It's got audio files there with it. And so this is my website. You can shop gear. You can support my channel in this way by sending me $1. Chris, not Not begging you for money, buddy. Just saying, if anybody's watching this. Alrighty, guys. So I got some new videos coming up. If we go over here and we go to we go back to studio, here's what's coming up on w1rcp.com. Let's go to content. I have POTA Island Radio at Eagle Island. It's coming up. This will come out tomorrow, May 31st. Those are my views. I've been watching them, kind of giggling at some of my shenanigans. And then next Friday on June 7th, part 2 from Treasure Island. I actually did find some treasure. It wasn't much, but not going for clickbait here, but I might have found some money. Okay, so that's what's going on. I've got some older videos. I updated some of the images. This is just what it looks like from my point of view in my studio. So, hey, I appreciate everybody that views my channel, everybody that participates, friends, non-friends. If I haven't met you yet, if we haven't hung out, I appreciate everybody tuning in. So thank you so much for hanging out, and I guess I'll end the stream and we'll have a good night. So Chris, thanks for participating. For everybody else that tuned in, now's your chance to slap something in that chat room and let me know you were here. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I think that's all I got to say about that. Good night, and 73. And for those of you who are QRP, 72, so you can do more with less.